The coordinate plane pre-6 lesson notes. First of all, the review. The review is an assignment called the coordinate plane pre-6 notes review. Please find the assignment in Schoology, upload it to Notability, complete the review, and then resubmit it to Schoology. The best part about doing that is the fact that when you find it on Schoology to begin with, it's just the 4 review questions, and you don't have to worry about the rest of the notes on the notes review. Okay, so again, this lesson is called the coordinate plane, and notice how it said pre-6. That is because this is actually not a pre-algebra lesson. This is something you've already been taught. This is something you should already know how to do. It's just a review, because if you don't have a solid understanding of the coordinate plane, then we cannot move on to the next lesson. Okay, so first of all, I know you've seen the coordinate plane before, and the coordinate plane has this line that runs vertically and has this line that runs horizontal. Okay, they are the x and y axis. The plural word for axis is axes, so they are the axes. Okay, the one that runs vertical, is the y-axis. I'm not sure if if this helps, but I had a teacher in high school who said if you draw a capital Y, you have to draw that part there up and down, so that's how you know the line that goes vertical is the y-axis. The one that runs horizontal or across the paper is the x-axis. I usually tell students, if you think of a railroad crossing, the symbol for railroad crossing is an X, because before you can go across the railroad tracks, you have to stop at that sign. So X is across. So you got your y-axis and you got your x-axis. So on this coordinate plane, we often plot points. Okay, each one of those points is 2 numbers, which is called an ordered pair. In an ordered pair, the first number is called the x-coordinate, and the second number is called the y-coordinate. Pause your video, get that written down. Okay, so the x-coordinate tells you to move left or right, and the y-coordinate tells you to move up and down. And the way to remember this is the x-coordinate is very similar to the number line. The x-coordinate is similar to the number line. So where the 2 axes intersect, that's going to be your center. Okay? And your center, that center point, is called the origin. That center point is called the origin. So going to the right, you don't have to draw these arrows. Going to the right of the origin are positive numbers. Going to the left of the origin are negative numbers. So the x-axis is very similar to a number line. The y-axis, if you want to think of like a weather thermometer, where the numbers going upward are positive and the numbers going downward are negative. Okay, so again, the center is the origin, and the numbers going upward are positive, and the numbers going downward are negative. Okay, so when you have an ordered pair, like this one here, the first number tells you to go left or right, and the second number tells you to go up or down, depending on if it's positive or negative. This is a positive 2, which means I would move 2 spaces to the right, and then the positive 3 means I would move 3 spaces up. So again, for the ordered pair, because the first number is positive, I go to the right 2 spaces, and then the second number is positive, so I go up 3 spaces. So again, the x-coordinate moves left or right, the y-coordinate moves up or down. So go to this top right corner. The x-coordinate. If the x-coordinate is positive, again, you will move to the right. If the x-coordinate is negative, you'll move to the left. Pause your video, get all that written down. So again, positives to the right, negatives to the left. The second number is your y-coordinate. If the y-coordinate is positive, you'll move up. Try that again. And if it's negative, you'll move down. Pause your video, make sure you get all that written down. Okay, so again, you start at the origin. If the first number is positive, you'll move to the right. If the first number is negative, you move to the left. After you do that, then you go to your y-coordinate. If the y-coordinate's positive, you would move up. If the y-coordinate's negative, you move down. So one more time, as a review, depending on which coordinate you're looking at, positive numbers are either to the right or up, while negative numbers are either to the left or down. Okay, so just take a moment, make sure everything I've written down so far you have. All right, so if the origin is in the center, in the center of the coordinate plane, that means the ordered pair for the origin is 0, 0. The ordered pair for the origin is 0, 0. The axes divide the coordinate plane into 4 parts. So here's one part, here's one part, here's one part, here's one part, and here's the other part. So there are 4 parts to the coordinate plane, and the axes divided into those 4 parts. They are called quadrants, and we use Roman numerals to write them. Okay, the top right quadrant is quadrant 1. Yes, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. So again, the top right quadrant is quadrant 1. The top left quadrant is quadrant 2. The bottom left quadrant is quadrant 3. If you notice, it's going counterclockwise. And then last but not least, the bottom right quadrant is quadrant 4. Now, when you graph in these quadrants, the ordered pairs for quadrant 1 the ordered pairs have two positive numbers. So in quadrant 1, the ordered pairs are both positive numbers. For quadrant 2, because we're moving to the left first, that means we go negative. So quadrant 2, the x-coordinate is negative, but the y-coordinate, because we move up, is positive. Quadrant 3, you move to the left and then you move down, meaning that both coordinates are negative. And then last, quadrant 4, you go to the right, which is positive, but then you go down, which is negative. So for quadrant 4, the ordered pair is first a positive number, then a negative number. Pause your video, make sure you have all of that written down. Okay. So if I have the ordered pair, negative, you don't have to write this down, just follow along. If I had the ordered pair, -4, 3, that means that this this point, this ordered pair, would fall in the second quadrant because it's negative then positive. If it was -4, -3, this would fall in quadrant 3 because they're both negative. If it was +4, -3, that would be quadrant 4 because the first number is positive going to the right, but then down would be negative. This one, however, is tricky. Notice that is a 0 as the y-coordinate. When you have a 0 for the y-coordinate, that means you don't go up nor do you go down. So it's going to stay on an axis. Which axis is that on? Well, if I go -4, that means I'm going to the left, but then I don't go up or down, which means that would be on the x-axis. If I would flip these around and put 0 here, -4 here, that means I don't move left or right, and I just go down, which would put me on the y-axis. Therefore, if you have an ordered pair that is 0 and then any number besides 0, that ordered pair will fall on the y-axis. And then vice versa, if it's a number other than 0 and then 0, this will fall on the x-axis. Pause your video and get that written down. Okay, so that is all the information that we're going to write on the coordinate plane. So again, remember, you're going to be plotting ordered pairs. The first number is called the x-coordinate. The second number is called the y-coordinate. The x-coordinate moves left or right. The y-coordinate moves up or down. You always start at the origin, which is 0, 0. And again, if positive, move to the right. Positive moves up. Negative moves to the left, or negative moves down, depending on which coordinate you're looking at. If you have any questions on the coordinate plane, please do not hesitate to ask.